Yesterday, Chelsea won 2-0 against Brentford at home in Stamford Bridge, and it's a good feeling for all the Chelsea fans. But there are 5 things that I want to talk about when it comes to this match. And it's one of those things where you're going to look at and then you realize that maybe it's not a bad thing supporting a Chelsea team. Because number one, I'm happy for Liam Rossinia's win, first win in the Premier League, 3 points. I think he really needed that because a lot of people don't even want to give him a chance. And I think it's unfair to a guy like him not coming in and not giving a chance and a trust, because I think as Chelsea fans, we've been giving a trust to some of the managers that don't even have anything to do with us, and then they didn't even give us anything. So I think the first thing will be him getting the first win, 3 points. That's nice. And number 2, I want to talk about Sanchez. I mean, when it comes to Sanchez, it's one of those things that I think I've been hearing a lot of people blaming him. Chelsea fans say we still need a keeper and all of that. But I can tell you one thing. Most of the things that I think Chelsea fans are blaming Sanchez for, it's not really his defense. He's not really himself. It's most of the defense stuff. Because when you look at our defense, that defense has been changing. Like, I don't know even want to say what it's like, because I think we never had like a consistent back four ever since we started the season. We've been chopping and changing because of injuries, even not because of injuries, because of like the management of the games as well, of the players as well. So I think Sanchez has been playing very well. The save that he did yesterday, even if you look at the save that he did against midweek against Arsenal as well, like you can tell that Sanchez is a good keeper, but the defense in front of him, it's a problem. And speaking of a defense, I think what is happening when it comes to the defense, people just tend to not like certain people. And I mean, if there is a guy that is an eye of man of that defense for the part of the second part of the season last season and this season so far, it's been Trevor Chalobah. I think Trevor Chalobah is one of the Iron Men when it comes to that defense. That man doesn't get injured. That man is always there fighting. But when people are talking about good defenders, they always just look past him and be like, no, he's not our guy. We really need a better defender. But I'm telling you, that guy, when he came back last season in the second half of the season and play with Colwill, that defense was just hectic. So I think the defense, it's one of the issues that we have because it's never been that consistent. And in that defense, I want to talk about Tosin. I mean, Tosin is not really a player we want to have as Chelsea fans, even though sometimes I think people are just harsh on him because he usually made mistakes. But sometimes he played well. Like the game yesterday, he really played well because he was one of the things that he did, even though Schade misses the one-on-one because he made Tosin actually slide away from the post. I think that's not his fault. Mostly we know that Tosin, when it comes to one-on-one, he's a liability. He's not a man that you can trust. But I mean, there are games where he actually played well, but I think the fact still remains that at the end of the season, he can be one of the men that will leave so that we can have like a better depth when it comes to defense. Because I think the injury of Colwill actually showed us that we don't have enough defenders that we trust and that can do the job that Colwill was doing. So I think everyone is wishing for Colwill to come back. That's my point number 3. My point number 4. I'm going to take it to the Champions League. I mean, we've been playing very well in the beginning of the season, and our struggles always comes around December. So it started, Enzo Maresca left. We had like a lot of problems. So what I'm thinking is, we are in the right state in terms of the league that after all these draws that we had in this season, we're still in a reach of the Champions League spot. So I mean, the season is actually not that prolific if you look and think about it. And I mean, it's going to be hard for a lot of teams to actually not get the Champions League spots, because if you're looking especially Liverpool, Manchester United, Chelsea, I think those 3, they need to fight for the top 4 position, because if you look at the 3 above, those are the people that are fighting for the league. Even though Man City slipped up yesterday against United, but then I think maybe if we push on getting some wins in teams that are beatable, just go all the way. Because I was looking at the future for Chelsea though. Going into the last part of the season, those hard features are still coming back. So I think as much as they can in games like Brentford yesterday, they need to collect all those maximum points so that comes those tough games, at least the Chelsea is sitting in a good position for Champions League. So it's one of those things. And then number 5, I want to talk about Garnacho. And I mean, it's a problem because first of all, I didn't want Garnacho at Chelsea as a Chelsea fan because I didn't see anything that people were always wow about when it comes to Garnacho, because for me it's a guy that's never beat his own defenders. He always think about maybe he thinks too much because the decision making is always poor. Yes, he scored those 2 goals. Yes, people are going to take all the stats and say this guy played this so many matches and gave us so many goals. But if you think about it, when you watch the game, you realize that this is not a player that we need in the caliber of Chelsea. Because, I mean, how can you miss a chance like that? I mean, actually missing the chance was harder than scoring it. So I was like, what are we talking about here? And I mean, it's a bad thing because we're still trying to challenge for all the trophies. And if we have players like Garnacho who doesn't take opportunities like that, it's going to be an issue for us, even in games that we're not supposed to lose, because we've seen a lot from Chelsea this season where we play in games like we don't care, even though it's games that we're not supposed to lose. So I'm thinking, Garnacho, you need to pull up your socks, or it's one of those players that we have to move to Stratford or ended up selling them, because I don't think we'll get something out of Garnacho. People are still making the argument that Garnacho is still young. There is something that you're still going to get out of him. But those are my 5 things that I took from that game. 2-0 win, clean sheet for Sanchez as well. So I think the only thing that I will give a credit to that defense in terms of no matter how that defense changes, but I can give that defense actually a credit, because if you look at the number of clean sheets that Raya has and Sanchez has. Sanchez had a bad defense in front of him. Raya had a good defense in front of him in Europe. But when you look at the clean sheets, they actually close to each other. And if you look at some of the mistakes that Chelsea made for those teams to score goals, you can realize that if we had like a good defense like Arsenal, maybe most of those goals weren't gonna go in, and then Sanchez will have like more clean sheet than Raya. So it's one of those things where you look at the league going like this. So it's in the crunch time, second half of the season. Everyone is going to fight for all the points they want. So no games is going to be easy. So William Rosini, I think, is going to make the right changes and play all the players. I'm glad that at least maybe Cole Palmer is getting the goals, and then he can start maybe the rhythm. He's scoring those penalties. And yeah, I'm happy for João Pedro as well. I mean, having João Pedro, even though he's not my kind of striker because he doesn't press, but nice goal that he scored. He needed those goals for his confidence as well. So yeah, I think it's a good thing for Chelsea to make sure that you try to bring all the players, and all the players are fit. And Delap, come on, you need to come back now and just show us, because I think Delap has a strength to go all the way and fight for us in terms of pressing and everything. So I know that you can't combine the two, the pressure of Delap and also the technique and the shooting of Pedro. So it's one of those things that Liam needs to figure out who's going to play. But so far, Pedro is the man to start in that position. So I will see you on the next one.